On the flight from, I'm trying to remember where my stopover was, but when I was traveling from Asheville to Amsterdam a few weeks ago, I saw a couple of amazing movies. Freud's Last Session, which was a beautiful exploration of the question of God between Sigmund Freud, an atheist, and C.S. Lewis, an English author who was a Christian. The other movie I saw was Eileen. It's a really powerful movie, especially, and there's a spoiler here. If you're watching this video on my channel, you know what the spoiler is about. For those of us who share a history of childhood sexual abuse, it's a really powerful movie to watch. And the specific theme that it really beautifully brings out that I wanted to highlight is this sense of rage that survivors can have towards the people who were supposed to protect them. And that rage can be even more towards the people who were supposed to protect them than the people who violated them. So if you're someone who was violated by your babysitter, you might feel like an easier access to rage against your parents rather than against the babysitter. And I have felt that myself, like I've felt this sense of being let down by the people who were supposed to protect me, my immediate caretakers. And yeah, it's difficult to admit it, but the relationship that has been most affected by these last 3 years of my journey has been the relationship with my mother, who I unconditionally loved and doted upon 3 years ago, and now it's a very complicated, trigger heavy relationship, and there is such a deep longing in me to go back to what I had, but you know, in this journey there is really no going back. There's only going forward and recreating what I liked in this new realization, and making space for all of the other complicated emotions in me towards this like really important person in my life. I'm going to show you a clip from the movie Eileen. There's a fire, an ambulance that just went by with a siren running, and it's really interesting to note these synchronistic moments of almost the universe sounding the trigger warning for me on my behalf, as much as I'm like quite opposed to the notion of a trigger warning in general, and there is a lot of nuance there. So I'm going to show you the clip, and then I'll share some thoughts, and I'll watch the clip with you. You'll see a small me in the corner in a circle, so you don't feel alone watching it. And this is the climactic scene of that movie. Really powerful scene. Cut over to the clip, and then I'll be back here.
Just tell us the truth, Mrs. Polk, and we'll let you go free. Families can heal. You're not a lost cause. No one is. It can't have been easy being married to a man like that. You're obviously having a hard time. Why don't you tell us what happened in this house? Why you helped your husband do what he did, and then we'll be even, and we could all walk out of here, and we can figure out how to help Lee.
Fucking untie me! Untie me! Let me out of here! You crazy bitch! Get out of my house! You're in big trouble! You think you're gonna get away with this? You're going to jail for a long time. What the hell is she doing here? What are you doing here?
I really think you need to tell us the truth.
What the hell are you talking about?
If you don't, we could leave it down here, tied up, no one to find you. The human body can't live very long without food or water. Sooner or later, you're gonna need to take a shit. I guess you're just gonna have to shit yourself. And piss. It's not gonna feel very good.
I'm not scared of you. I know you. I know who your dad is.
If you know my dad, then you wanna be scared.
Yeah? Scared of a womanizing, drunk piece of shit who everybody knows is batshit crazy? You think he didn't have problems of his own? You think he didn't have secrets of his own, huh? You think your mom didn't know about him? Think he didn't? I'm going to fucking kill you if you don't start talking right now! Please! Please don't kill me.
I won't have to kill you if you talk.
Help me.
She's not gonna help you. Talk.
I can't help you unless you confess.
All right. You win. When you get married and you have children, you take an oath when you get married to honor and obey your husband. I mean, you wouldn't understand that. At first, I thought Mitch was just checking on him in his sleep. You know, like any father would. Like he just wanted to be sure his son was safe and sound in bed. Sometimes I'd feel him getting out of bed. And sometimes I'd just feel him when he'd come back. Then he'd kiss me or hold me, and you know, and we hadn't really been together since Lee'd been born. But then I started getting these infections down there. I figured it was my fault. And then I wondered if Mitch had brought something home with him, you know. And then one time, I got up in the middle of the night. I don't remember why. Glass of water? I don't know. I thought maybe it was a dream. I went and looked in. It didn't dawn on me right away. You know, I swear to you, I mean, you don't expect your husband's gonna do something like that, you know? I mean, nobody would believe it anyway. And then And then I figured if Eileen was clean, if he was clean, an enema and a bath before bed, then it would be better for all of us. And it was. I knew what I was doing. It wasn't quite right. I did know that. I did. But who do you tell? You know, who could I tell? I mean, you do the best you can. You know what happens when you have children? Your husband never looks at you the same. But after he went to bed with Lee, he'd come to me. It was like a big burden had been lifted. He was relaxed. It felt good how he'd hold me. He loved me then. He would whisper and kiss me. It was the way it had been before, when we were young and happy and in love. It felt good. Is that so wrong? I don't want to feel like that. You wouldn't understand. You're young. You haven't had your heart broken.
Yeah, I'm feeling that scene come alive in my mind again, because I had recorded me viewing the clip before, and I'm recording my commentary on it in one go. And what that scene highlights for me is just really the complex nature of childhood sexual abuse and childhood sexual trauma. I'm reminded in this moment of a book written by V, formerly known as Eve Ensler of the Vagina Monologues. And they wrote a book called The Apology, which was a book they wrote on behalf of their father, apologizing to them for having raped them as a kid. And if you had spoken with me a year and a half ago, I actually had not met any men who were raped by their fathers. I wasn't actually aware of that possibility in some ways in my mind. I just wasn't aware that that could be a possibility. And then I met 2 or 3 men in my direct community who had experienced that from their biological father. Somehow, like, stepfathers is easier for my mind to make sense of. Biological fathers raping their daughters is also something I'd encountered a lot of before. Biological fathers raping their own sons is something that I just had not encountered at all. And yeah, in this movie, the boy Lee, I imagine a fictional character, but such a real character, ends up killing his father and ends up being sent to the juvenile detention center, where the character played by Anne Hathaway is the head. And she is able to really reach him, and he finally tells her what happened. And then she decides to take revenge or seek a confession on his behalf, which is the lead up to the scene. And the girl who shoots the mother at the end of the clip is her protege of sorts at this penitentiary. And there are references earlier in the movie which, to the attuned ear, reveals that most likely this daughter's father was also a perpetrator, because in one of his drunken stupors he reveals, I think he tries to like touch her thigh and then was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was your sister," which is a pretty alarming statement to make. Like a daughter's thigh being touched by her father, and her father being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was your sister." Back to the scene, it was really beautiful to listen to this mother's plight. This plight of like not having affection from her husband, and receiving that affection only in those moments where he had just finished raping her son. And, you know, to be fair, you can see her conflict. Like, she wanted to she really wanted to stop that from happening. She really wanted to stop that from happening, and at the same time did not have any support, did not know who to go to, did not know how to address it with her husband. And parts of her like really craved being held with love, with kindness. And since she got that before she discovered why she was receiving that, she didn't want to lose that. And she made a choice. To be clear, a very pathetic choice. It's like a horrible choice to make, which is the second thing that was like really alive in me, of like how like the quality of parenting in our current culture is so pathetic. It's like really it's a very low bar. And I say this with like great love for my parents for what they did do, like the positive things that they did do to support me, which there are plenty of. And yet objectively, we are just in a time where the quality of parenting is like just pathetic, like just poor quality, and just needs to be said so that you and me, who are desiring to be parents now, know that that's a very low bar, and that we have to do better, and we can do better. The first step in doing better is acknowledging what is pathetic and labeling it as such. Yeah, really powerful scene. I really hope you watch the movie and support it. I rented this movie on Amazon Prime before recording the scene, and I'm doing this for presenting, you could say, critique's perspective on this movie, and I'm in such awe for just the beautiful work both the author of the book that inspired the movie and the director and producer and screenwriters have done, and even the actress, like such a beautiful job at really showcasing the wide range of emotions, just really like full spectrum human nature that has been in display in this scene. The actress who played the mother specifically, stunning job, like really stunning job, and it's such a gift. And I've watched this a few times now, and every time I've like wept and felt my heart soften. And I hope you have that experience too. I hope you can watch the scene while like not allowing your heart to concretize and freeze up, but like can truly allow your heart to soften as you take it in and receive it for the medicine that it is. Like it is truly art as medicine, healing medicine. I hope you can open your heart up to receive that, like really release what needs to be released: grief, tears, rage. And I hope this helps you on your healing journey. And I'm very curious if it does have an impact on you, what that impact is, even if it is triggers, even if you're angry. Like, I'm very willing to hear that. Please share that in the comments, and like and subscribe and follow if you like this kind of content and you want to support me. Like every like, every share means a lot to me. Like, I'm not really in it for the numbers. Like, knowing that it's reached another human being who I don't know means so much for the parts of me that feel so alone in this journey, and are reflected and mirrored when I see art, movies of this nature, of this quality. Thank you.